Let's talk about the lessons learned. So you got those impressive results. You saw a cultural shift. What are some of the lessons that other organizations and companies might be able to apply from the story that they're hearing from you today?
Yeah, of course. So the first one I have in here is don't be afraid to embrace feedback and transparency. That's something that I'm definitely not afraid of, but I really wanted to get everyone else to adopt that. I do think there's an understandable hesitancy to be very transparent about when we fail, about when we get negative reviews, and getting people on board with not only sharing those things, but working collaboratively to teach one another on how to improve and make those situations better. That made such a huge difference. And that energy still exists within the credit union, right? It's changed who we are fundamentally. Know when to compromise. I actually have this in here more for me than everyone else in this presentation. Usually, once I found a project that I'm particularly excited about, and I'm like, I have the data, I know that this will make a difference. Like, why we have to do this right now. Knowing when to compromise and knowing how to listen to the concerns of other parties really benefited us in this project. Instead of it being us versus other teams that had concerns, what we did was we essentially made it, all of us against this problem of how do we improve these Google reviews. And we were willing to compromise and wait till the completion of another really big project so that everyone felt really confident going into this. And their support was honestly super helpful during this project. So waiting, compromising, those are really valuable tools that, I don't want to overlook here. And then using data in the face of doubt. I think this one was obvious. This was, amazing. Thank you, Qualtrics, for giving me so much information that I could use and show people, real time, like, look at the responses we are getting from people. They really enjoy working with us. And, we've now rolled out multiple surveys across, multiple different departments and for tons of different things. And when I had first started rolling these out, I was concerned. I was like, oh my gosh, what if this is a fluke? What if we start looking in these other areas and we're not seeing consistent scores and things start to change? I was a little scared of what we would find, but we were brave. And over time, we found that people are overall very, very satisfied. And so that was really exciting. And it's helped me make the case for a lot of other projects in the future. Engage your entire team. Tell everybody. Do not just tell the handful of people on the project. Like, share it organization wide if it's the kind of thing that needs to get people excited, to carry momentum forward. It was totally the right thing to do. And I have in here be the hype person that they deserve. So go the extra mile. I could have very easily just said, yeah, just look at the dashboard and never talk to anybody about it. But going the extra mile and praising them, constantly bringing it up, sending them screenshots, really going over the top in celebrations, it made a huge difference and people really loved it. And then investing in the right tools and partners, I think that goes without saying. Without Red Pepper and Jaren's relationship, I wouldn't have had that excellence and expertise and all of that knowledge that I just so desperately needed to do a project in a short period of time. And without Qualtrics, I just wouldn't have had all the data and tools that I needed. So I'm really thankful for both of those. And then additionally, we can go ahead and move forward one more slide. I wanted to include learn as you go. So don't be afraid to pivot mid-project. We had a couple of points where we did need to pivot, and I just kind of learned as we were moving through the project. An example of this would be that when I initially set up the automations to notify our team members about the responses that we were receiving, I didn't want them to feel overwhelmed and I didn't want their inbox to be crushed, by the wave of responses that we were receiving. So I was like, you know what, I'm only going to notify them about the negative responses so that they can go ahead and address them really quickly. And then if they want to go look at the positive, they can just go to the dashboard. Very unintentionally, I had created an emotional connection between this project and these negative emails, and people were just not looking forward to looking at them. They would get anxiety about opening them. And when they told me that, just kind of, in the hallway and in the chats, I was like, no problem. Let's fix this immediately. And so I made automations so that they would receive the positive and the negative, and I helped them, set up their inbox so that they were not getting overwhelmed and flooded with things. But what they were seeing was, oh my gosh, to every one negative comment, I'm getting 25 stellar comments. And so that made all the difference in the world. And people were seeing what I was seeing, which is just like, we have got to connect these two. And that was a change that was definitely necessary mid-project. The other thing I wanted to mention was balancing push and sustainability. So once we hit our 4.0 goal, I think a lot of people asked me, they were like, let's keep going to 5. And I was like, 100%. I love the energy. Thank you so much. But realistically, I think we should pause and slow down, because at that point, you have over 1,000 reviews, and to get to 5, I would need many more thousands of reviews. And so I told them, I was like, we're going to actually celebrate this moment. We're going to pause. We have completed what we needed to do, and we're going to sit back and relax, and we're just going to make this a regular part of our process, so it doesn't exhaust anyone, it doesn't overwhelm anyone. And now they just really enjoy it overall. And it's just kind of left like a general positive, happy vibe among our team members, which I really appreciate. And then focus on genuine improvement. This is just because I had a discovery mid-project that I wasn't anticipating, right? So don't be so focused on your metrics and your short-term and long-term goals that you overlook the opportunity to make real, genuine change in your organization. Ryan and I were not expecting to have such a cultural change where, this totally transformed the way we share information. We're so open. I do not have a single private dashboard. I do not have a single private survey. Everything is available to everyone to look at and to test and to get feedback on. And we got that from this project. So I would just encourage everyone to look up from their metrics and just make eye contact with their team members and go, wait, I think something bigger might be happening here, because that's honestly what happened to us.